Hi folks, okay, so it's really early for me. My hair looks terrible, but you know, whatever. I was just driving my parents to the airport shuttle bus thing, and I wanted to report some good news, which is so my dad triggers me like immediately. It's like, it feels like it's, I mean, there's always, when he's around, there's always like a general feeling of annoyance, but like he does say things sometimes purposely to provoke me, and sometimes it's just like, you're nuts. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? So it's like that. Like he gets upset, I get upset, and it's like immediate. And I've wanted to not have that happen for a very long time, but I just haven't been able to be cognizant of it. You know, I'm not aware before it escalates to that point. But today, you know, as we're driving up, he had like two comments that were just like, and I know that one of them was to poke at me, to irritate me. He likes getting a rise out of me. He always has. And then the other was just like, but I immediately, you know, I feel basically my hackles go up. You know, my shoulders scrunch together, and I just kind of go nuts. But not nuts. That's not true. I do raise my voice and shout and get upset. Like, he's the only person I've ever shouted at. Not ever. But he's the only person I shout at now. Anyway, so he said something, and I was like, and I noticed it before I said anything. And it's not comfortable. It's not a comfortable feeling. I want to do something. This Michael Singer says, you know, like, I want to do something about it. I want to make it more comfortable for me because it's just an uncomfortable feeling. And, you know, one of the things Michael Singer talks about is, you know, we obviously, I mean, this is the basis. We try to make the outside world match what we need it to be in order for us to be happy on the inside, which is an impossible task. And you'll never be happy that way. So, you know, there is this complete, okay, that's not Chapman. Next exit, okay. There's this complete urge to do something to ease the discomfort of the pain, the feeling that you're having, right? You're not willing to feel that particular feeling. And there are a lot of feelings that we aren't willing to feel. So anyway, as I caught myself before, I mean, maybe I shouted once, but but before I shouted again, I saw it, I felt it rise up. And I didn't say anything because it was a stupid thing to argue about. There's no reason, like, there's no reason to get upset about what I was getting pissed off about, because obviously it wasn't about that thing, it was about my dad. But, you know, it's just like, okay. And it was uncomfortable. It was really uncomfortable not to do something about it. But, you know, shouting doesn't help anything at all. In fact, it escalates the situation. So, I stopped and I was like, oh, okay. And I breathed and I relaxed. As I felt the feeling, I relaxed. And that is good. I mean, it's still caught in there, and I'm working on loosening stuff up. But that's pretty good. And the other thing is that there's a couple of situations in life right now that are affecting me emotionally. Like, I keep going back to them in my head. It's one of those, you know, I mean, everybody has that, right? Keep going back to particular situations in my head where I start talking to the person that the situation's mainly about. Mainly revolves around, you know, planning what I want to say and whatever. And that, again, that is an attempt to make myself feel better, right? It's doing something about it. What the goal here is not to have to do anything about it. Is to just be like, okay, it's okay that I feel that. It's okay that I feel that. And just relax, you know what I mean? That's the goal. So every time I catch myself having those like fake, the pretend conversations, imaginary conversations in my head to these people who have upset me, who did something that triggered an upset feeling inside of me. You know, when I'm having those conversations in my head, I catch myself and I stop and I breathe and I feel in my body, where is it? And when I feel the tight part of my body, I release it, I relax it as much as possible. Right now the energy is really tight around me. I mean, there's a lot of tight energy around me. There's space, but then it's like there are blocks that it just isn't getting through. So it builds up when I release it. It's weird. Anyway, so that is it's a pretty big deal. So every time I have that, I relax and release, and I'm really working on doing that. And that's another great. I'm grateful for that one particular situation I was talking about the other night, where I felt the feelings I had were like brokenhearted, and anger, hurt. Those are the feelings I was having in response to an event. And I think it's important to recognize that. Boom, 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 boom. So, yes, I recognize that it's not the person who did it to us. It's our response to what was done. Right? It's all, our lives are all, 90% about how we react to things. So that, it's a situation where my mind keeps going back to it, and using the situation, I can use the situation to work through this reaction that I have. That honestly, all of us have, but this reaction that I have that makes life uncomfortable, because, when you do that in your head and you're having conversations, you actually work yourself up more. And there's no release for it, really, because it's not like you're actually saying anything. And and it doesn't change the situation, right? So it's pointless. It doesn't work anyway. I'm working hard at that. I'm working hard at releasing things as I feel them, and just being like, it's okay that I feel that. So that's sort of, I've said that to myself a bunch of times before, but I feel like right now it's going to be something I say to myself often. It's okay that I feel that. It's okay that I feel that. And just relax, because like Michael Singer says, there are feelings we're not willing to have, and that's silly when you think about it, because they're there. They're the reality, and you're going to feel them anyway. So why not let them pass through you, right? So anyway, that's all I wanted to come on and say. It's early. I want to go back to sleep. I'm very thirsty, and I'm grateful that I am learning and progressing and more cognizant, more aware of my own feelings, and the fact that these are reactions. I'm pretty happy about it, honestly. In the past, and I'm talking, I've been taking responsibility for what's gone on in my life for a while now, because the fact is, when you're depressed, you blame yourself for a lot. So taking responsibility, it's not so much, for me at least, it wasn't so much a victim thing. It was just like, I suck and everything I do is wrong. But thoughts in my head, and they're not useful. Anyway, so that's how I'm feeling, and I'm grateful for that. I'm really grateful that that's my reaction right now. And yeah, I'm just gonna remind you guys that even if you're pissed off or hurt or whatever, you can always choose to have a grateful day.